So there's two reasons why I make these videos. The first one I've always been aware of and it's kind of grown over time. And the second one is kind of a byproduct of just the way that I feel about life. So the first reason is that there are some people who, for whatever reason, will never experience this environment, this biome, either because they don't want to, because they can't afford to, because they don't want to, they're risk adverse, they don't want to put in the necessary time to achieve this result because of some reason. So I think that sharing it with the world is a good thing to do, because there are probably some people who enjoy this kind of scenery and just like are amazed by it. I know that when I see stuff that I've never seen, I'm amazed by it. So that's the first reason. The second reason I actually kind of related to when I heard Steve-O say it on a podcast, and what he said was that when he was wilding out and taking drugs and he thought he was going to die soon, he hoped that his videos would be good enough to like be seen somehow after he died. So his videos would keep him alive in that way. Do I think these videos are so good that they will keep me alive even after I'm dead? No, but they definitely keep these moments that the way that I feel in these moments will die unless it is documented or remembered. I mean, I guess if it's a powerful enough memory, you don't have to write it down because it's so powerful that you'll just remember it. But to me, there are a lot of things that I experience and I would like to remember that I end up forgetting about. So, first, unselfish. I want to share the world with people that will never get to experience this. Like, some people will never come to Canyonlands. Probably the majority of the world will never come to Canyonlands. And living in Utah, I think that like it's so easy to explore the world. It's so easy to come to these national parks. All you need to have is a couple extra days and some gas money. But that's really not true at all. Like, there are people who live in remote islands, or people who live across the like, if you live in the Midwest and you're poor and you don't have enough money or time to come to Utah, like, you may never get to see some of the things that we have. And that's not the end of the world, but with the internet, you can convey certain emotions and certain things that could never be conveyed otherwise. Like this echo. Echo! It's actually crazy. I don't know if you can hear that. But after like the first two, there's like, it feels like there's another version of me down there like saying the full word again. Anyway, I love climbing. I like the technical aspect of editing and cinematography, and I love to brag. I love to share the things that I do with other people. And it makes me happy, and sometimes it makes them happy, mostly just me. But when I show people who have been in Kansas the last 20 years something from Utah that they like, some people never go to the top of mountains, like, it's okay, it's just like they never do it. So those are the two reasons why I film. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it. And if you're not, it's okay because I'm enjoying it and I enjoy the whole process. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. And one day, I will die and I will no longer be on this planet. Maybe it will be an accident where I fall off this cliff. But maybe someone will watch this video after I'm dead and think, wow, I'm inspired to go to Canyonlands. And then they'll come here and then they'll be like, that was epic. Eventually, no one will watch this video. This video will never be viewed again, and you might be the last viewer. I might be the last viewer. This might never ever get posted. But when that day comes, eventually, we will all die. And in my belief, that's the end. So if you really think about that, it kind of makes every moment that you have worth a little bit more. I like to think of things from a biological standpoint, right? So when you think of biology, what is the most important thing to continue our bloodline? Well, it's reproducing and having kids. What do most people, when you ask them what the best moment of their life was, they say, raising my kid or having my kid or getting married, starting a family. And I think to try to fight your biology and not have kids or not embrace all that like innate joy that creatures in general get from having kids is a mistake. So that's opinion one. I think that everyone should probably have kids. It would make everyone happier. Because we all have a nurturing side. No matter how many bad dads there are, that is a good point. Maybe some people aren't meant to have children, even though technically their biology should tell them to have children and raise them to be good byproduct. But one day, people realize that they're going to die eventually. And there's a couple of things that people want to do when they hear that. The first is reproduce or make something that will live longer than they will, which doesn't necessarily have to be children. It can be an idea or a building or a company or a park or even a state highway or even a sign. So if you look around Canyonlands, you'll see that a bunch of people carve their name into the rock. They're betting that this rock is going to be here subconsciously, I think, at least. They're betting that this rock is going to be here longer than I am. And we all want some kind of permanence. We all want to be a permanent fixture in the world. Selfishly, of course, but once you can kind of overcome that desire and realize that no matter how great you are, you will never be permanent. Eventually all humans will die. Or maybe we won't. Maybe some people will be permanent. Maybe Genghis Khan will never be forgotten. But I don't think so. I think that everyone will be forgotten. Eventually all humans will die. It may take 1 million years, but I don't think it will take that long. least I hope, because if I have to die, then all of humanity should have to die. Rah. So, all of these futile ways to stay permanent are what give us meaning. The way people remember us, the things we create, the good we do for the world. These are all ways that people try to create permanence. And you can see this in really rich people. Once they've kind of beat capitalism and become billionaires, what do? Well, they try to donate to charity. They try to start being nice. And once they start being nice, I wonder if they start feeling good. But another thing about humans is we're naturally competitive. At least I am. And we think that if we win the competition, if we win every competition, we will gain some kind of eternal life or some kind of credit or popularity that we never had. If we do the craziest thing and we win and we make the most money and we're the first person to go to space, then everyone will respect us, and that will somehow lead to us winning life. But all that competitiveness, all that competitivity, all that competition does is give us a drive. And what that drive does is it makes us become so focused on one goal and objective that we forget that we will die. If you are so focused every day on becoming the world's fastest 400-meter runner, you literally have no time to think about the fact that it doesn't matter who's the best at the 400, because eventually someone's going to be better in 10 years and you're going to be like, fuck, and you're going to be dead. So I don't know why. I think that we as humans have become so smart that our brain no longer knows how to evolve to keep us and give us purpose. We used to have God. We used to have God to give us purpose, and He did a good job. And He still does a good job for some people. God is an essential reason why millions of people have not committed suicide. And when you have God, you become much more self-assured, powerful, your confidence rises. You become more willing to believe good things will happen. So then you might be thinking, why would I choose not to believe in God then? Well, it's better for me to live in the truth, in a harder truth, than to live my life in an easier lie. And if you truly do believe that God is real, then that is an easy truth. And it would be a hard lie, which is good for no one, because not only is it hard to believe, hard to it's harder to believe that there's no God in general, because God keeps us from feeling lost. And when you realize that if God is not real, and all of these things like money and happiness don't matter and they're all temporary, then life has no meaning at all. However, I like to look at it as giving me more meaning. And I try to make each of my 17,000 days that I have left as potent and as fucking nutritional as I can. And when your focus is to make each day potent and full of nutrients and full of power, it distracts you from the fact there that you're going to die. And that's what we're all looking for, is a distraction. God is just a bigger distraction. But it's all a distraction. And if you can become so distracted, then good for you. I wish I could become that distracted. But in my heart, I know that no matter how many rocks I climb, no matter how nutritional my days are, and no matter how many children I have and how much money I make, and how many times I pray, there's nothing that will make me permanent. And some people take that into a negative and take it out on people and beat their wives and beat their kids and do all these horrible things because they are upset with the reality of life, which is that you will not ever do anything that will make you a permanent being. You will always be temporary. So when you climb a boulder, right? You climb like 10, 20, maybe 25 feet to the top of the boulder. Then you walk back down. And sometimes people are like, well, why would you climb the boulder if you can just walk up the other side, if you can walk back down? And the answer is not that the boulder is somehow should inherently be climbed. It's the fact that humans love to create challenges and they love to distract themselves with hard things to do and goals. And if you have goals that you are so focused on that you choose not to believe, and you choose to believe that your goals will make you happy, then eventually when you realize those goals and you aren't happy, it will be sad. I'm gonna notch this up one. Fuck. I'm about to drop my phone. Okay. So let's talk about happiness. Alex Honnold, who's clearly my inspiration, that's why I'm here right now. He says that nothing good comes in the world from being happy. Nothing great ever got done, nothing beneficial ever got done from sitting and being happy. And the truth is, there is no good, and and happiness is temporary. Well, what do I mean by there is no good? What Alex Honnold thinks is good is helping people who are in pain or in some kind of hardship, in poverty, get out of poverty. That's why he has his Solar Foundation to help people in Africa get out of poverty. And the only people that is good for it's kind of counterintuitive when you think about it, because Alex Honnold says that being happy is not the goal. It's okay to be in suffering. It's okay to try to achieve great things. Being happy is not the goal. It's okay to sacrifice your happiness for these things. But he also values other people's happiness. If someone's living in poverty, he thinks it's good to take them out of that poverty and put them in a more wealthy environment where they can make more money or make an education. And really, this is a super Western-centric and capitalist perspective, because making someone have more money or get out of our definition of poverty does not necessarily make them happier or achieve more goals or do whatever. It's this thing with the fisherman. If a fisherman is content fishing for his family, why does he need to start a fishing business, and then retire to do the exact same thing that he was doing? So why is Alex Honnold trying to save all of these Africans from so-called poverty? They're dying at early ages. They don't have the money to seek medical treatment. They don't have lights in their villages. And we have to ask ourselves, is that okay? Is that a bad way to live? And my opinion is that no way to live is good. No way to live is better than any other way. Even if you do horrible things, even if you kill people. The only thing you're doing is discontinuing the existence of our species, which is inherently neutral. Humans don't do good things for everyone. And once humans become to this level of not having anything to do, we just start to kill ourselves. We all, one, want to be happy, and B, have a purpose. Both of these things, if you try hard enough, you can be happy, right? You can take Molly every day and be happy and have dopamine. But happiness and contentment are different. In order to have purpose, our purpose doesn't even need to really be that real. Our purpose can be to count the amount of rocks in a square mile area. And if you are so involved in that purpose, you may forget about all of your other troubles in life. If you think there's a good reason to count all the rocks in a square mile area, then that will give you purpose. So, and therefore happiness. So if you can do Molly every day and count all the rocks in a square mile area, then that's all it takes to be a human being that's successful. So, the next time I just wish that people would stop taking everything so seriously. because it may seem serious, may seem like the 78 years that you have to live is very important. And you need to get these things done. You need to fucking do all of these things. You need to do all of these things because you only have this amount of time. You only have 17,000 days. You better start fucking working. You better get a 9 to 5. But my point is, if you get mad at someone at the grocery store, if you get mad at a homeless person for stealing bread from the grocery store because you're so invested in our capitalist society, then I have a problem with you. Some people's purpose is to be happy. That's okay. That's a okay purpose. Some people's purpose is to make money. And all these purposes are kind of equal. Alex Honnold's purpose is to do dope free solos. That's pretty dope. But really he's just trying to impress people. But one of those people is himself. He's trying to impress himself. And I think that's valid. What about the purpose of saving people's lives? I want to become a doctor so I can save people's lives so everyone lives better. Well, there's always lives that could be saved that will not be. So if you're saving someone's life who doesn't want to die, is it about the amount of people that you save? The truth is none of it really matters. But if you have that mindset, you might want to kill yourself. Because if nothing matters, then you have no purpose being here. Or you could live your life in a suicidal way like Alex Honnold. Let's go. Whee! Podcast on a cliff? Should I title this Podcast on the Cliff? Or should I title this Why My Life Matters More Than Yours? Because I'm super cool. Imagine you are a sports team. Now we know that if a sports team wins or loses, it doesn't really matter. It's kind of an illusion. It's a game. It's temporary. It doesn't matter if the Falcons or the Ravens win. Okay? Hate to break it to you, but you are a sports team. Because it doesn't matter if you die, if you trip over your refrigerator cord and electrocute yourself, if you fall off of a skyscraper and break your hip. It doesn't matter because you're temporary. You're a sports team. And I am a sports team. It doesn't matter if I get pneumonia from my tuna I just ate. If it can even give me pneumonia. Or salmonella is what I meant to say. So if you can't be happy, at least have purpose. If you can't have purpose, at least be happy. And if you can't have either, just know that you're a sports team and it doesn't matter. Unless you are the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's go.